think one of the most important things for us to talk about around our launch is our newer learning experience and documentation site. And this is really key to our platform, to getting our engineers with systems integrators and OEMs up to speed on our platform so they can realize the power of the platform. So with that, I want to turn a little bit back to Marc, and we're going to talk a little bit about Diataxis and show the new doc site.
Yeah, so let's do that. It's at docs.tatsoft.com, and I'm very happy to have that session with you, because when you officially join the company and we lay out our long-term strategic plan, I remember you saying, this platform is perhaps the most flexible and complete platform there is, but with that, it comes a price. You need to have great tech documentation. Before, the more power you have, the more flexible you are, the better you need to deliver the documentation tools. And that's us, our number one meeting, US President.
Yes, yep.
And now, finally, I'm happy. We did our research and found this Diataxis model is nowadays the gold standard for technical contents. It understands very clearly the learning path for the user. As you see, you need to learn by action, by doing with tutorials. You need to learn by explanations, the concepts with those sections. You need to put that knowledge in action with the how-to guides. Then you need, as a technical product, the deep specifications on how you can find any information that we have. So we follow to the letter the Diataxis framework with a nice enhancements. In our industry, if I go now, for instance, on the alarm page, just to be an example, many users, they don't really to go that path, because right now they just want to know everything about alarms. And now, with, of course, the hyperlinks and web technology, we can deliver that. So if they want to approach that through the alarm, you go from tutorial to advanced. And another path that's also in this matrix, that is the core foundation. As an engineer, I like trinities. You know that the last piece of the architecture is the role they have. So as you see here, you have Diataxis, you have the modules, and you have also, if you are a control engineer, if you are a system integrator, an IT professional, if you are working operation maintenance, or here for evaluation, we have guide and documentation, a specific path. So I'm not going everything, that's for you to look, but for instance, that's the diagram for the software architecture, that's the UI of the designer. And the reason I'm showing those two is a bridge to talk about this tool, that's the GBT AI. When I was work on that, I found out that the way I work documentation, lots of print screens, is terrible. The AI cannot really deliver very well that type of contents. So part of this plan, the documentation, was to replace those images by vector diagrams. We wrote the documentation with one more public in mind, one more individual, the AI entity. If you like about that, read the articles, AI entities beyond property engineering by a nice guy, the author. And we have the 100 connectors, all the technology foundations. Imagine search 100 connectors with not proper documentation tools. And this section, Harry, I'd like you to talk about that, because it was your inputs to add on documentation. Because with documentation, we know what to do. You know how to do. But where I'm going to apply that? That's the final piece. The technical documentation needs to be complete. So it was your input to make that happen. So talk about this last session.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So Marc's referring to the industry use cases. So I talked a little bit about industries and where we're installed, but this kind of gives you a much broader resource to look at and to see what we're actually doing within these industries. Let me give you a couple examples out of our use cases. So one that I think is key to what we're doing in the market is the white label and product OEM section. So it points out a couple of use cases of actual customers we're working with, but we're unique in that both of those, that one, we do offer white label, brand label, meaning you can take our software, embed it, or create a solution around it and deliver it to the market as your own. And as well as a machine, maybe a machine builder, he may embed our software on his machine or equipment and then offer that as either powered by FrameworX, or he has the option of just making it their own. So I think that's a big thing that we're unique to the market there. And I think that's Marc's background also, because he's been in that business.
Yeah, in one time, my previous company, we own a huge market in the embedded device, Windows C, a huge percentage, but we have like 15, 25, but I don't even remember the name. And it's a bit I cannot talk in detail because many of those agreements, they have a NJ attached. But I can give just a generic example. We have companies with $5 billion plus in sales, automation to some companies, where our product is one of the core components in their automation suite of products. Right now, I'm talking about the past, talking this product right now. And another area in the industry, one more highlights, Harry, in the industry.
Yes. I was going to go to the oil and gas section, the work we did with the midstream, which is pipeline company. And because it was a recent job that the team was heavily involved with. And this application had a couple unique challenges. The first big one was they did not want to run a PC at the edge. So the application in a nutshell was 300 plus remote stations collecting data and actually enabling remote control of the remote station. So they did not want to run on a PC. They wanted to use a Cisco router. So Cisco router runs Linux, and there we go. FrameworX is a multi-platform product, and so we use our Edge Connect product, and basically the application communicated to the PLCs, enabled the two-way communications. We did some data transformation as well as unifying the data into a unified namespace. And then we packaged that up and prepared it to go to a series of 4 redundant MQTT brokers at the data center, where that was connected to their main overall SCADA control system. And the SCADA control system use that architecture to go down and individually supervisory data collect and control those individual stations.
Yeah, and I had the information. There are more than 300 sites now.
Yes.
We're hitting like 500, go to 400, but the initial deployment was 250 sites. What can tell us about the experience of the first 250?
Well, what we had to do, we were really under a timeline because this was an infrastructure upgrade for these guys. They were coming off very old technology. So they had to run pilot this system and run it parallel with their existing system. And we met the timeline goals, and the system's working today. So
how long was that niche deployment? How many months?
It was about 6 months.
Wow,
so,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and that was our whole team involved, along with a key systems integrator was really leading that charge. So
Great.
Our team supporting that effort thought it was really good.
Yeah, it's definitely a great example of nice architecture. And very recent case, just being deployed. Right now they're expanding.